What is going on? I've got some really good news. So today was my last day at my current job. I started my new job this upcoming Monday. Before I get into this, I want to say that I definitely enjoyed the work that I was doing, that I've been doing. I've enjoyed working with my colleagues. I had some amazing colleagues. I met some actual friends that I still consider friends, and we're still in touch. The organization has a great mission and purpose. It is definitely something that is greatly needed in the community that I'm from and the communities that we serve. However, the nonprofit industrial complex is alive and very much well. You have a lot of nonprofits who are ran by people who are out of touch with reality and are so far removed from the people that they're supposed to be serving. It's downright ridiculous when you really sit down and think about it. Like, you have people who are very much classes and could care less about poor people, yet they're running organizations that are supposed to be geared towards low to moderate income folks, helping people get out of homelessness, people who are poor, working class. Yet the person that's running it is completely out of touch and could care less, if we're going to be completely honest. And also with the industrial nonprofit complex is also just the fact that so many of us who work at nonprofits, you literally have the job responsibility of 4 to 6 roles, yet you're only paid for one. And a lot of times the pay is extremely low and stagnant. It's absolutely ridiculous how low a lot of us are paid, and yet the amount of work that we're expected to do. Burnout is real. You're putting way too much responsibilities and work responsibilities and roles on a person and then wanting to pay them poverty pay, which is ironic considering that a lot of these nonprofits have these nice social justice-based mission statements that they themselves don't even live up to. And it makes it really ridiculous. Now, the people that I worked with at this organization, I worked with some amazing people. You actually had people in there that cared deeply about what they were doing, the work that they were doing, could relate because they themselves are working class, working poor, low to moderate income. So, the work that we were doing was very dear to us, not to mention that we're from the community that we're serving. But again, your CEO doesn't even live in the county and isn't even from the area. So, and this is kind of seems to be an ongoing issue with a lot of the things that are going with a lot of these nonprofits. A lot of times the people who are at these nonprofits do not reflect the population, don't come from the area, don't know anything about the area, and coming in with a very classist and elitist approach among racism and other things, and it's just kind of like, and sexism and misogyny and everything else in between, and yet these are the people in leadership roles over the nonprofit that's supposed to be doing social justice, equity, inclusion type work. Make it make sense. Not to mention you have a lot of nonprofits that get millions and millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars and grants, yet nobody knows how that money is actually being reallocated correctly. Like, again, if you're getting almost $2 million in grants, don't you think you should be cutting at least 10 to 20% of that back to administrative costs so you can actually pay your staff better? And it's odd how you will see certain people at the nonprofit who are making all of this money. Meanwhile, other people are living check to check and haven't seen a raise in years. And then the raises that if we're lucky, privileged, blessed to even get a raise, it's low and minute. And then with today's cost of living and when you take inflation into consideration, a lot of our so-called raises are actually pay cuts. You know I'm going to talk my shit. A lot of our pay raises were indeed pay cuts. Because you got to think, last year or this year alone, the Social Security Administration in the USA gave a COLA, C-O-L-A, acronym, cost of living adjustment, to anyone that received Social Security benefits, whether that's SSI, SSDI. They got a 15.9% cost of living adjustment. Meanwhile, I got a 5% raise after being here for 2 years doing first of all, I had 2 job titles and literally was basically doing the role of 4 to 6 different people. And was paid $40,000 a year gross annual income before taxes and deductions were removed. It took me 2 years to get a $2,000 raise, a 5% increase. So, and then you're overworked. You know, it was just so much going on. I always felt like we were basically flying off the seat of our pants because there was no real organization, because you don't hire enough people and you only have so many people working. So everybody's swamped 24/7. You know, and it would just cause mayhem and chaos. Not to mention, we also have to be completely honest. You have certain people who don't want to do their jobs. So when they don't do their jobs, that work ends up being pushed off on other people. You know how that goes. And a lot of that can be avoided by simply paying people living wages and hiring enough employees. Things that are so simple to do, but when you have certain people at the top who think they should get $50,000 raises while everybody else is lucky to get $2,000 after 2 years, I wonder why you can't afford to get a receptionist. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, and then just also like the work environment, like here it is, it's 2023. We've been living in a pandemic, and at the very height of the coronavirus pandemic, people were being sent home to work from home if their job capabilities allowed them to do so. Well, here's the thing. Our job is mostly behind the computer. It made no sense that we had to physically come in office, waste gas and waste time to come in to sit behind a computer that we could do at home. And at the bare minimum, if you don't want people to be full-time remote, at least offer hybrid options. You know, 2 days in office, 3 days out of office, 3 days in office, 2 days at home. Something. You know, no, we're just coming in every day for what? We got lucky and was given 1 day a week last year in 2022 because, you know, the gas prices. Mind you, gas prices are still ridiculous, and we still are not being paid enough to live. And again, we're coming into an office to sit behind a computer. Now, I can understand you've got clients that want to come in person, or you have a class that you're teaching. Yeah, you probably should be in person that day. But that's not every single day. That's not even every single week. So it's just ridiculous that that's how it was, you know, happening. On top of the fact that we're not paid enough, on top of the fact that we're overworked. So burnout at a lot of these nonprofits is something that's very, unfortunately, a common thing. And because of the burnout, you have a lot of turnover. This year alone, between February of 2023 and November of 2023, okay? So we're talking about an 9 month, you know, setup, right? One person was let go in February. Another person left in May. Another person did a no call, no show and just straight up forfeited their job in July. Another person left in August. And then I left myself today. So you've lost 5 people. And again, you notice at nonprofits, and not only just at nonprofits, but it seems like a lot of jobs are like this, unfortunately, even the for-profit sector. People will either be quit or people will either quit or be let go, but yet they never rehire them. There's no one ever is rehired for that position. And then it's just like that person's assignment role ends up being dumped on other people who are already drowning in work. It's crazy. And then at the nonprofit, okay, well then where is that money going since you never rehired anybody for that position? Because ultimately, there was like $40,000 to $50,000 that was not being used and hasn't been used for the past 8 to 9 months. Again, where is that money going? Weird shit, man. Okay. But again, it just boils down to the organization has a great mission statement, has a lot of resources, can help a lot of people, and it has helped a lot of people. And there are people who work at these organizations who are phenomenal, who truly care about their communities, care about the work that they're doing, actually want to help and give back. But there's also people who happen to be in leadership most of the time at these places who are literally here for a paycheck. Okay, they could care less. Okay, and then not to mention they're already well-to-do people. Like, look at the board of these nonprofits. A lot of these people are already well-to-do people. So it's like, why do you need to be paid all this money when you're already well-to-do and you're technically retired? So, like, anyways, I just wanted to give my 2 cents and speak about my experiences being at this organization and just doing the type of work that I do. But I wanted to be clear, they do great things because they have access to funds and capital and programs that can help people. So I'm still going to let people know about the programs and opportunities that are there because it's going to help my community. It can help the people who live here. So I want to see us all win, but I also want to see people held accountable, and I want organizations to do better by their employees and by their communities that they're supposed to be serving. And the out-cold thing about it, if we would reallocate our tax dollars to actually support, I don't know, us, the American citizens, the American taxpayers, you wouldn't even need nonprofits because your tax dollars would be funding the programs that the nonprofits are funding. But you know how it is in the USA. It's all about the rich and the wealthy and the war machine. So we're not going to really put much of our own tax dollars that we're working for back into us, the people. But okay. Anyways, let me go to this event. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I'm privileged. I got a long way to go, and I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep giving back. I'm going to keep putting my best foot forward. And my best advice is to anybody that's looking for jobs, want to make more money, want to be paid better, want a better work-life balance, want a better work environment in general. I recommend giving jobs anywhere between 6 months to 2 years. If they're not paying you right, you don't see any room for advancement, upward mobility, promotions, raises, being able to grow with the company, there's no work-life balance, you're overworked, you're burnt out, or there's a lot of bullying and nitpicking and just micromanaging and just craziness, chaos and confusion going on, leave. Give them 6 months to 2 years. And if you don't see what you need to be seeing in order for you to stay, get out of there. Because my God, we don't have time anymore to be staying at places for years to be underpaid and treated horribly. Okay, and not having our needs met. We don't have time for that. Cost of living is too high. Inflation is too high. Life is too short. We do not have time. So, know your worth and charge interest. I'm out.